Hey guys, so we hit 1K. Um, I I really don't know what to say to you guys. Thank you guys so much. I said a lot of stuff about the channel in the best of 2023 video, but I really didn't think I was gonna hit this milestone this early because I made a goal in 2023 to hit 750 subs by the end of the year, and I actually only ended up with 690. And so I planned on hitting 1K by the end of this year, and I've gotten almost 1K subs in just the month of February alone. So again, thank you guys so much for that. And we're almost on 2K. We're on like 1.7 right now. So I genuinely just cannot thank you guys enough. I mentioned when I first started this podcast that I didn't really plan on being a huge YouTuber. That wasn't what I wanted to brand myself as. I still wanted to have my normal outside life, and not really be like just a YouTuber. But obviously, I wouldn't be against being, a big person on the platform and being a large YouTuber. But this started out as basically a hobby. But I started setting high goals for myself and having high dreams and goals. And I stated that one of my biggest goals for this show and this podcast is to one day take it on tour. So I want to travel to Orlando, Boston, Miami, pretty much any basketball city, including ones that are no longer technically part of the NBA, like Vancouver, Seattle, and maybe some other cities as well, like Vegas, or maybe even outside of the US, and outside of where the NBA is. But just go there and just put on a show. And I've had plans to do that for a while. Like whenever I finally do go on tour, I already have stuff scripted up. But I have to take the first steps first. I can't go on tour without an audience, so that's where you guys come in. Again, I can't do this stuff without y'all, and y'all always show massive support, and I just hope that y'all continue to stick around and continue to help me and watch me grow and support me. And then maybe, who knows, maybe one day you can buy a ticket to one of my shows. But again, I have a lot of international viewers as well, and I don't want their thanks to go unnoticed. They have also shown me a lot of support. So I did this in my best of 2023 video, but I just want to say thank you to you guys again in y'all's languages. So to the Philippines, I say salamat to you guys. To France, my next highest viewed country, merci. To Germany, danke. And just thank you guys so much for the support. Recently, I've noticed a trend with my videos that when I do sort of these historical breakdown type videos with a lot of research, like my timeline videos or my history of basketball or sort of my changing the game series, things like that, you guys really enjoyed those types of videos. They get more likes, they get more views, and more people sub after watching those videos. And that's great for me because I actually really enjoy making those type of videos as well. And that's also why my shorts, whenever I uploaded them, have the history hashtag in them, because it helps get your guys' attention. But a lot of you may not know that the reason I'm good at making those videos and the reason I like making them is that my channel actually was almost that type of video before the podcast. I almost started my channel as a history channel. I made a lot of history breakdowns, especially on games and movies like the movie 300, Braveheart, and the Assassin's Creed series. So I wanted to continue that sort of trend today with the channel, and for part of the 1K special, I'm going to do another timeline and history video, but for my channel itself, similar to the timelines that I've made for the other videos for y'all, except for me. I thought, again, that goes in tune with what you guys like with the channel already and what you guys like to see, and it helps you get to know the channel better. There will be other things for 1K that I have planned, which I'll explain at the end of the video as well, so stay tuned. But with that being said, let's get into it. My YouTube account was created on December 18th, 2012, but not much obviously was uploaded, given I was only 10 at the time. The email for the YouTube was actually created by one of my biggest lifelong friends at the time, Connor, who is now in the military, with it being a huge part of his family and who he was growing up. I obviously won't show what the email is, but given that we made it when we were 10, it was named after a Minecraft meme with the creeper, which is why I obviously don't use it for my personal email, but just YouTube and sites where I have to create an account. I actually would upload a couple videos on here being inspired by YouTubers like Smosh and Markiplier by uploading group video gameplays and hide and seek videos with people from my neighborhood. Except I didn't have a capture card, so it was obviously terrible and basically just me recording my screen with my phone. My parents were actually smart enough to tell me that a 10-year-old should not be uploading videos of themselves to the internet because of the weirdos, and maybe delete all of my videos. A move that I hated at the time, but now perfectly understand. A few years went by, and in 2016, my freshman year of high school, I would start uploading again. I actually originally kept it a secret because I wasn't sure how my family would react to me once again uploading videos. I started uploading gaming videos that were recorded straight from my Xbox, even making this intro in Windows Movie Maker.
Let me take you on a trip.
I was taking an audio video class at the time in which we were learning a lot of Windows Movie Maker and other tools I thought I could use to edit to make videos. Shortly after, I got really close with a group of friends, Nick, Ewan, and Mark. We would have a lot of absurd and really abstract conversations at our lunch table, and after a while, we figured we should keep a record of them to see just how crazy they got. And this is how I originally started podcasting. But the group only recorded one episode at Nick's house before school got too crazy and we never recorded again. Nick was actually the first of us to have an official channel where he would upload memes of marching band songs and gaming videos. And as a bit of an artist, he drew my original Gingy logo as well. The username Gingy actually came from obviously me being ginger and playing a pickup game of basketball with my friends, to which I drained a shot and one of my friends said, "Attaboy Gingy," and it just carried with me. My whole freshman year, I was called Gingy in 2016 by even the teachers. Throughout the years, we always talked about recording another podcast episode or at least uploading the episode we did record, but we never did, until several years later. During this time, I would also meet and become good friends with Old Guy Vibes, and our relationship would continue to develop over the years. 2020. Now this is where our story would really pick up. After graduating high school, we all felt like we had more independence from school and our home lives. And on top of that, quarantine was happening, so there wasn't much to do. So talk once again came around to the podcast. We decided that finally, after having the file on a USB drive for years, that it would finally be uploaded on June 19th, 2020. With a lot more free time, I decided to keep uploading poor quality gaming videos and streaming as well as we continued to get together to make more podcast episodes. My parents also became aware I was uploading again sometime around here, but didn't really seem to mind given I was already an adult at this point, and they just kind of let me do my own thing. The name was made after all of our names trying to make an acronym. Mark, Ewan, Nick, and Nathan. Take the first initial of each and you get Men Squared. Right now, the full podcast is still unlisted on this channel, but we were worried that people would read the name and incorrectly think it was some sort of misogynist or male podcast like Andrew Tate or something, when it was really just a bunch of high school and college kids goofing around and making an acronym with their names. I kept recording with multiple of my friends, including Vespid, who we'll touch on in a minute, Old Guy Vibes, and Okanite, who is growing on Twitch and streamed with me with things like Pokemon and Civ. As time went on though, I wanted to focus on something other than the podcast and gaming, and make something more specific to me and my interest. On December 10th, 2020, I made a post stating that I would start another podcast. And this is where the birth of Nathan But Net begins. The podcast was originally called Plus 71. It was supposed to be a clever name because San Antonio is the 210 area code and Houston is 281. It started out while I was at my Houston college. Started by me, a Spurs fan in the Houston area, and my friend Fernando, who lived in the Houston area and was a huge Rockets fan that I met in college. This was meant to bring an interesting dynamic already built into the podcast, like Skip and Shannon, or Reddick and Stephen A. Smith, and so on, with the Texas rivalry and me being to a new town. The first episode would then be uploaded January 11th, 2021. However, starting out, there would be several complications. I was also starting another series on the channel after another passion of mine, history. I also had a friend, Vespid, making music, and I decided to make music video edits for him. Vespid actually is the one who makes the intro music for the channel. As you might imagine, this was a lot of things going on, but I continued doing all of them. But to no one's surprise, it didn't get very many views, seeing as how there were so many different projects on my channel. The YouTube algorithm didn't know how to recommend my videos or really show them to people, as every day I uploaded it was a completely new genre, basically making YouTube stumble across my channel like a drunk in a bar.
Julian! I don't know where I felt like I get a little drink around here, do you, bud?
So I called my friend Old Guy Vibes, who was having success with his channel, and asked for advice. And he said the obvious. Focus on one thing, not 5 different projects at once. I decided that I would continue making podcast-related videos and the podcast with Nick. I would continue doing gaming on Twitch, but not edit the videos all at once. I would continue doing gaming videos on Twitch, but not edit the videos at all, since that would require more time and work taking away from the other projects, as well as be too much on the channel with basketball and gaming. The channel would later hit 50 subs, with Fernando actually being the 50th subscriber on camera. We celebrated by having a podcast special for the Men Squared podcast.
Hey guys, welcome back to Old Guy Vibes.
Okay, alright. We hit 40, boys. Alright, here we go.
Mark, are you still... There was also, unfortunately, another complication, in that Fernando could not do the podcast anymore. He was getting too tied up with school as well as personal issues, and decided to step away on good terms. And thus, the podcast was renamed to Nathan But Net. An announcement was made on July 2nd, 2021, only 6 months after the initial release of the podcast. Old Guy Vibes actually helped with the inspiration of the name after giving me the advice to make it some sort of pun. I told him it was between Nathan But Net or Nothing But Nate, but Nothing But Nate did not really give off the idea of basketball. I then decided I wanted to move back closer to home since there wasn't much for me to do in my college town, given that it was actually a bit outside of Houston. Me and Fernando went on a huge shopping spree at the mall in town, the only thing to really do there, in order to have a send-off, which is where some of the stuff in the background comes from, including the Funko Pops and the other anime figures. After moving back closer to San Antonio, it helped my channel being in a basketball city. I was still starting out, so my basketball knowledge was still more base level and not very entertaining. However, I continued to get better as time went on. And on August 1st, 2021, my birthday, I uploaded my 100 sub special, making my logo into 3D, which would be a staple in the background and a huge part of the channel. A little while later, on August 20th, I uploaded a video cleaning my curry shoes, and somehow that video exploded, still being my most viewed video on the channel. Then I decided I wanted to move into shorter form videos in parallel with my podcast. These videos would be scripted and well researched, helping expand my basketball knowledge as well as reach out to people who don't like longer form podcast videos. One of my first videos of this style would be on Josh Primo. Obviously now we know how that turned out, but at the time, me praising Primo spread across the Spurs community by doing a well-researched deep dive on him. This video eventually found Clan the Spurs fan, who reacted to it, exploding the video with it being the 5th most viewed video on my channel. I went from 125 to 207 subs by the end of the year. Now this may not seem like much, but for someone only getting 1 to 5 subs every month, this was astronomical, especially while getting 11k views just from August to September. Shortly after, on October 4th, 2021, the first episode with CJ Hoop Talks would be uploaded, after we each saw each other's videos on Primo, sparking the lifelong friendship and collaboration between our two channels. CJ continued to come on the podcast, and I continued to make my shorter form videos with better research, like What If Kawhi Never Got Injured, and Jason Tatum, You're Not Kobe. After my video blew up, me and Clan would actually start a dialogue with each other about collaboration, with us coming on each other's shows as official guest on November 6th, 2021. With finals of school after that, I took about a month off, until I came back with my first appearance of JX Remy on the podcast on December 11th, 2021. I continued making my videos with low views, but was determined and kept at it. Later, I would have probably my biggest guest with Run to Court, with 50k followers on Instagram, to come on the podcast. Unfortunately, it didn't really matter since the audio for this podcast got completely corrupted and I had to try and salvage as much as I could. I ended the year in sort of the same fashion I saw a lot of other YouTubers I was fond of. A best of. I decided to wear a suit jacket to make it seem almost like an awards show, commentating over some of the best moments and giving thanks to my guest, and especially Clan for their help in the channel. As 2022 began, I got more creative with my videos, starting off with making an all-star trailer in under 24 hours, an annual video that I still do, as well as reaching out to my old co-host. It had been about a year since the first episode of the podcast. I didn't want his contribution to be forgotten with him first starting the podcast with me. So I drove back to Houston and spent the day with him catching up and recording an anniversary episode with him. It felt good. Unfortunately, after this, Fernando would change phone numbers and delete a lot of social media due to personal reasons, making it very hard to get in contact with him. But luckily, I miraculously got in contact with him again. It felt really nice to talk to an old friend again in 2024, and he still loves the channel, and we hope to collab again here soon, so please stay tuned for that. I noticed that when I uploaded clips of the podcast, they only got a couple of views, which I felt was hurting my channel because with the algorithm, it was basically telling YouTube that I wasn't worth watching. So I stopped uploading clips as much and continued with uncut podcast episodes and scripted videos, with a couple videos standing out. one of which was my Cade Cunningham video, being my second highest viewed video ever. That was until the Pistons traded Marvin Bagley III. I also made an interesting video taking old guy vibes to his first ever Spurs game since he had never really watched sports before this. Then I got into contact with a friend of Clan's, someone who knew Clan well but was a small Spurs channel as well starting out, with the first episode of Swish Eel being uploaded on March 26th, 2022. Swish Eel was up to date on the Spurs and college basketball, so me and him would maintain a relationship, with him coming on a lot in February and March for his March Madness takes. In March, while continuing my short form videos, I uploaded one of many criticizing Doc Rivers, to which it seemed a lot of people agreed with my takes, hating on him, getting 5k views, the 7th highest on my channel, and helping the channel go from 240 to the 300s in subs. The rest of my videos kept getting only 30 views on the high end, but I continued, determined that I just needed a few more breakout videos like this. Shortly after, I would, hitting a mark with my prime demographic of Spurs fans, uploading my 9th and 10th highest viewed videos back to back, with Clan's community also watching both. I uploaded my 8th highest viewed video also immediately after this as well. This triple threat combo doubled my channel size from 240 to almost 500 by the end of the year. On August 29th, 2022, I would also start a new chapter of my personal life, moving in to my own apartment, meaning paying my own bills, so less time for YouTube, but also more independence to do my own thing and work on videos when I wanted to. As 2022 went on, no other big videos stand out, but that was until we get to the end of the year. Despite only uploading basketball related stuff, I still had a lot of my old videos related to history, Vespid edits, gaming, and other podcasts still on my channel, which I felt was affecting the algorithm despite not uploading anything related to it. So I didn't want to just delete these videos forever, since some of them were really fun to make. So instead, on December 13th, 2022, I decided I would move all of them onto a new channel, making another Gingy channel that I use just for random gaming stuff I record, which isn't very much, and an archive for all those old videos, while I focused on this Nathan But Net channel. Going into 2023, I had the goal after hitting 500 subs to hit 750 by the end of the year. I started out experimenting with a new thumbnail style, which was kind of a staple now, with the split up thumbnail. It would especially come prevalent whenever I did my timeline videos showing the different eras. I started out the year talking about Wilt and doing a lot of research for that. I was getting better at being topical, with Tatum and Mitchell both having high scoring games. The video didn't explode or anything, but it definitely flew past my average with over 300. I continued this style of thumbnail and putting a lot of effort into researching my videos, and the videos started getting 100 to 300 views on average, with my first history style basketball video getting 100 views and my 2-point shot video getting 300. Then the draft lottery happened. The Spurs got the number 1 pick, which caused all of the Spurs channels to explode as we were finally relevant again. I was friends with a lot of Spurs YouTubers by this point and reached out to ask them if they were okay with me making a compilation video of their reactions, and they agreed. This meant that people that didn't know me but knew TSR or Clan could watch that video and be directed to my channel, as well as other smaller channels included in the compilation like Daniel Sprague. It was a way for all the Spurs channels to grow together given this monumental moment. The video ended up being the 3rd highest viewed video on my channel, immediately after I dropped another 2 bangers, where my research and knowledge really shined through with a full scouting report on Wembanyama, which is still the first video you see when going to my channel. and a video about LeBron retiring, both of which were topical and again had a lot of research and facts included in the video. A few weeks later, on August 23rd, 2023, the podcast hit 50 episodes, which obviously was a big milestone, including a compilation video at the start with a lot of people that have supported me. And it was also my first video with the 6-man. Unfortunately, afterwards, I took several weeks off, which really hurt my channel. I was growing steadily, but the break broke the momentum. I wouldn't upload again until November, recording with Up the Score for the first time as well. I uploaded a few videos to end out the year, but a lot of people didn't take them well, even though they did get a lot of views. And they took more of a storyline approach in the video telling. This was only further shown when I uploaded my Pistons plunge video, a sort of documentary, gaining 1,300 views to round out the year. Now, while we did not hit 750 like my goal, again largely due to me taking a break off, we did manage to get 690. And this is where we go to the current year. Once again, I noticed that when I formatted my videos into more of a storytelling or documentary, they performed a lot better, as well as finding niche pieces of history. Much like gaming, sports videos were very oversaturated in the YouTube community, and the biggest advice from Old Guy Vibes was to find my niche, and I unintentionally found it. Not just sports, but more sports history, especially history that wasn't mainstream and more niche. I found a story featuring Miss Shula Ness and basketball and decided to make a video about that garnered 1K views. I then started 2 new series started around this idea of niche basketball knowledge with changing the game and Give Them Roses, both of which performed well, with the first Give Them Roses episode getting 200 views and the Changing the Game episode getting almost 800. Pretty much by accident, I had gone back to how my channel had started, and that's why I wanted to make this video more of a timeline of the channel, because it's ironic looking back thinking about how I almost started this channel as a history channel, and now it is still sort of making history or trivial style videos, but for basketball. Which again, I really enjoyed doing, so it felt good that the videos I enjoyed doing most, resembling something that I already previously had interest in, was really helping the channel take off. On February 10th, 2024, we would hit my previous goal of 750 and only continue to blow past it. YouTube also wanted to compete with TikTok and started pushing their shorts feature more and more. I was able to recognize this in the marketing of the feature and decided to take advantage, uploading more shorts that would get caught by the algorithm and get thousands of views over interesting topics like Wilt Chamberlain's 100-point game or basketball and cartoons, or remaking some of my older videos into shorts like MJ scoring 40K. On the same day we hit 750 as well, on February 10th, I also uploaded another history style video about the evolution of basketballs. As expected, this history timeline story driven video garnered a lot of attention. I had the goal in 2024 to hit 1K, and by a week later, on February 17th, 2024, we had gone from 750 to 917. I was correct in seeing the trend that these styles of videos were doing well, so I continued and made the Wizards video, which now sits at 1K views. And my Doc Rivers video was a topical video with his time on the Bucks and JJ Redick's comments, but it followed a similar format of storytelling. And that brings us to present day. I have a lot of videos lined up with this timeline style, as it's what my channel seems to be growing on, but the growth has been insane. I had the goal to hit 1K again by the end of the year, and by a week after Valentine's Day in February, we hit that on February 20th. Not only have we blown out 2023's analytics and hit 1K within the first few months of the year, but at the time I record this, barely even a week after the 20th, where we hit 1K. On the 29th, we already sit at 1.5K. I seriously cannot thank you guys enough. Thank y'all so much for the support. Again, y'all have blown 1K out of the water, and it's still February or March when this comes out. I hope you guys will continue to support me and watch my growth. And now, for the announcement. I could not have done this without you guys, and so I want y'all to be included. I will once again be remaking my logo in 3D like my 100 sub special, but I have a list of all my first 1,000 subs, and so I'm going to write every single subscriber on the side of the trophy, so y'all are immortalized as part of the channel with me. For privacy reasons, all my subscriber names that include real names like John Smith will be shortened to things like John S. But this is my way of showing that I could not have done it without y'all. You guys make up the channel, which is why y'all will be on the trophy. A huge part as well will be my guest. I could not have done it without them either, and a lot of them like CJ and Jeremy have become actual IRL friends of mine. So I am going to travel to all of my guests, or as many as I can, and as I meet them, they will sign the bottom of the trophy, showing that they were also a part of it as well, including Fernando that I started this podcast with. I hope you guys are excited, and once again, thank you so much, and I hope you continue to support. Share the video around, give it a like, and all that cliche YouTuber stuff. And as always, I will see y'all in the next one. Peace out.
This is not okay. This needs to stop now.